thinking of how to join us.
You do realize your president has never won an election since 96.
But he's still the
credible
president.
Elections.
What do you mean by credible?
Free and fair elections.
Hello, Uganda. Good afternoon. This is Weird Confessions Uganda, our fourth episode, I guess. We are pleased to have you with us. Those of you who are keeping us company, we are pleased. And it has been a busy week for all of us. There have been ups and downs, and we are here today. And today in the studio, I'm pleased to have our guest who will be introducing himself shortly and will be telling us more about himself. But for now, I want to introduce myself that today's episode is hosted by me. I prefer to call myself DK. I'm hosting it, and I have my guest here who will introduce himself to you. As always, it's Weird Confessions. We get those entries from our Twitter page. Some of you send us those voice notes on our WhatsApp number. And it's from those things that we generate our discussions that we keep bringing to you. So once again, welcome aboard, and let me introduce my guest to you, or let him introduce himself to you.
Hello, I'm Kelvin. Abantu abasinga ku Twitter, they know me as Kelvin Omukongo, and at times he makes fun of me. Musajja wa Kabaka.
Yes.
So yeah, briefly, that's me.
Okay, thank you, Kelvin. Thank you for coming around. So one of the things that I want us to talk about this afternoon is it has been on social media, it has been on our silver screens, it has been everywhere. We have been seeing and watching. Some of us, and unfortunately, I want to say that many people have lost their lives. Many people have in hospital, they are hospitalized. And it's very unfortunate incident. And our hearts, as Weird Confessions Uganda, go out to those families that are going through hard times as a result of what has been happening. So we are picking our topic from there, and it's what we will be discussing to you this afternoon. I want to first of all ask Kelvin, because he's so much into politics. He talks about these things, and he seems to have been here longer enough. He keeps on referring to those people as young, the young people. So I want to ask the old person here in studio today.
I'm not old. I'm not that old.
Thank you for that. But I want to ask the old person today in studio is, do you think Uganda's problem is Museveni?
Yes. Our problem is Museveni. First of all, I want to offer my condolences. This week has been so dark. Yes. People have died. Ugandans have died. Omuntu wa wansi, and families. No. This
the director of UMI was shot as well.
When? This week?
This week. He was in his office.
Struggling families have people have died. A young boy was killed this week, 14 years old. Omukyala atambuza emmere, doing her business, was gunned down by the police. We have a police that is cruel, but abantu with no regard for human life. People doing their own stuff, bali kuyabwe nibabatta. If you profile every victim, gwe say every one of them, aina story to tell.
Okay.
So all these killings, all this blood falls on one person, and that's our president.
But the president was in Karamoja.
It was in Karamoja, but who controls the force? Who controls the UPDF? Who controls everything, everything, the so on?
The president.
Exactly.
Is he a micromanager? Doesn't he delegate authority? Because
he's a micromanager.
I believe every institution in Uganda is headed by a person. We have inspectors of police, we have commanders of the army, we have those leading the LDUs. There are people who are leading those institutions.
And you think those people make decisions on their own? Besalirawo okukola ebintu ebyo oba bafuna order from above. If the president came out and said nti police stop shooting Ugandans, tembakuwa masasi, do you think they would continue shooting?
Some Musevenis tayagala bana Uganda.
He does not. He doesn't care.
But we are the people voting for him, so he's mindful.
Who votes for him? He's never been voted into power. He just came Nawangula Olutalo. And by the way, that's a story for another day, but that story of liberation has never been about us. It has liberating us. It was about them to come into power. But they take everything for themselves. They destroy everything. So Kaguta Museveni Tibuhabura, now that he has embraced his name, Tibuhabura, he doesn't care.
So what is his problem? Where does this scenario of saying that the problem of Uganda is the president?
The problem of Uganda is president because his overstay in power, the dictatorship, the oppression, that has consequences. It has consequences. 35 years in power and counting. He has Museveni and his group. And I call them loyalists.
I will ask you, Calvin, just pause it. You're talking about Museveni and his group. Before we make Museveni the problem, can we talk about his group? Because we could be saying that the president is the problem. Yet even the president naye mwenyini atudde ku misumali ayagala kugenda. You remember the days of Chigundu. People used to say Chigundu rigs the elections for the president. Chigundu was the problem. They even sang songs about him as I want to remember the exact word, but they sang songs about him. And now, the last election, Chigundu held, officiated, and then said, I'm retiring. So we get another electoral commission chairman, and again we are saying that Museveni is still the problem.
Who nominates the chairman?
Museveni nominates and sends for vetting.
And sends
where he has no control, by the way.
Really,
he has no control, by the way. He just sends to the parliament.
He has no control over the parliament.
The parliament is full of people. You people vote. Which is well balanced, by the way. There are people from FDC, there are people from NRM, there are people from UPC. Send those people to parliament. And he also sends the people. If he nominated me today, he will send me to the people you have voted.
I think what you're describing is Uganda on earth too. Because
I want you to focus on the group, because we talk about the person, but he's also not okay.
The president sets the tone.
The president is not comfortable.
He told you that?
His life might be even in danger. You remember Besigye?
You have proof?
Remember Besigye? Besigye last time he stood, he said, I never wanted to stand, but you pushed me. How sure are we? And the president of this country, Mr. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is not being pushed.
You have evidence?
I'm just saying, how sure are we? Because we could be seeing the man saying, I'm looking for the NRM vote, but he's not happy.
You mean if there is a group, let's say, Katugambe, a cabal.
Yes.
A cabal that teyagala a vehicle because they are feeding off him, they are getting wealthy, rich because of him.
Yes.
You think he wouldn't stop police officers from shooting unarmed civilians? who are struggling?
Deep inside me, I believe that the president has the best intentions of this nation.
Best intentions.
I can say that again. He has the best of intentions for this country.
Best. If he had best intentions.
Let me complete my statement. But they can click around him. People say Museveni is a coward, but the people around Museveni are coward. They fear if Museveni went away, if he retired and went to Raktura, what will become of us? You know that.
Mm-hmm.
They fear that. The religious people fear if Museveni went back to Rakitula, what will become of us? Because some of them eat at his table. The army officers, and other groups. So for me, I want to say that before we crucify the president, let's first crucify the devil.
How about
the group around him?
How about feeling empathy, sympathy for the people who have been harmed by his policies, his government for decades? What do you say about that? Let me count examples.
Yes.
Any president who cares about people, his people, in a pandemic, wakes up in the morning and finds solutions. Nti abantu bange mbayambye ntya, relief food.
What you got?
How many, on a scale of 1 to 10, how many received relief food? Emmere saagirabako. Majorities ne mu Kampala ne Wakiso tebafuna mmere.
Really?
Tebafuna mmere.
Okay.
Tebafuna mmere. Kati bw'ogenda mu rural areas bameka abafuna emmere? Who got help? Who got financial aid? In a pandemic, lockdown, fenna tuli waka. What does the government do? They waiver water bills, umeme bills. Nti for this period, abantu bali waka tebakola, tebalina sente, let's give them help. Nothing. He doesn't even have empathy. He can't relate to muntu wa wansi. Businesses closed. Abantu nga babanja rent. Tebalina rent. Wakola because they are home. Tebakola. What does the president do? You said nti there is a group abatayagala vehicle. Okay, yes, they are benefiting from him. Yeah. Let's assume Jebali. Bamufunamu obugagga, but if bamufunamu obugagga, gwenga president, what do? You just sit and bamufuna ko obugagga, so segenda kuwa bantu bange buyambi because bali bamufuna ko obugagga.
I think you're being unfair to the president.
I'm not. I'm being realistic. NRM is a fraud.
Come on.
NRM is a fraud.
Let me tell you.
Can quick example. On Twitter, there is this MP from Avatar, sister wa Andrew Mwenda, that regime apologist.
Yes.
Who stole billions. Nagamanti.
Are you sure?
She sold goats.
Okay.
She sold goats. By the way, scandals is plaguing a government yafe. If we had an independent media that wrote a system one leader bie. Anyway, kanzire yeri. Yali alimia matoke manji in her constituency.
Yes.
She comes on Twitter and nakaba banange, people come and buy from him the matoke gengira. People were mad. If you read under the replies,
but that is her business.
What, as a leader in a pandemic,
what was she expected to do?
What do you do? Your people are struggling. Baliwaka olinda mede kukwengera.
But look at the region where she comes from. Everyone has matoke.
We told statistics region gy'ogamba
Yes.
to be fake. There are few who are well off, who are not struggling. Naira mulimu bali
I don't want to go into statistics.
But yali your dear leader used to give televised addresses, addressing COVID lockdown, bichi tugende, all that crap. Never once did he empathize or tell fellow Ugandans everything will be okay.
No.
We are fighting for you. All your businesses is collapsing. All the rent, we are going to try as much as we can to handle.
Now, Kelvin, I want to ask you. First of all, I want to start by telling you that you're being unfair to the president.
I'm very fair.
Because,
in fact, yeah,
look at what he has done, starting from NADS. All the things he has done, all these things are aimed at empowering omuntu wa wansi gwoyogerako. I'm happy that you're happy for us.
I'm just mocking you right now because
these things are aimed at empowering the local people, the people up country, the people in the village. They don't have offices. They continued with life as usual. While they were sanitizing, there was things they were not doing as before, but life continued. They went to the gardens, they were harvesting food. Those that do animals and all those things, they were getting from their animals. The people in town were greatly affected, and I agree with that. And one of the things that the persons, one of the entries on our Twitter page was like, people have been trying to ensure that lockdown is lifted, hotel owners, business owners, so that the economy rises up again. And that takes me back to the part where I told you that the president empathizes because he listens.
He listens.
Yes.
To who?
He listens
to who?
Groups. When right now the church can go to the president, we want you to open churches, he will listen. That is empathy. When shop owners, arcade owners try and put in place SOPs so that the arcades are opened, he listens and he says, okay, put ABCD. When bars, the drunkards wants to go back.
That's empathy to you.
Yes, it is empathy.
Let me explain to you what empathy means coming from a president. Empathy, people in arcades, bali bakava.
Yes.
Rent, loans. He didn't lift a finger.
How much money do we have as a country?
How money has been stolen? For starters,
we are not stealing. Money is not being
how money
stolen.
Has embezzled?
Money is being put to use. People are putting money to use. Trust me, we are constructing roads. We are bringing in investors.
2020, kids in rural areas are still drowning in wells looking for clean water.
Isn't that the cause of bad leaders that you send? You may find that in those areas there are opposition leaders who are even fighting government programs.
Opposition leaders, you say?
They are fighting government programs.
That's all fake news. Kati olava. 2 weeks ago, I was scrolling on Twitter. Then daba kuhando ya NRM bagamba clean water, blah blah blah. In every village, tugenda jua 2 boreholes. I was like, 2 boreholes.
How big
every
is a village?
Village.
How big is a village?
What's the objective of access to clean water? Government ina making sure nti access to clean water eri abantu ebeera easy simple. You don't have to walk miles looking for clean water.
But you know that our villages have been narrowed for his administration.
Then how come abantu abasinga they walk miles seeking for water?
Yes, there are those exceptions.
Okay,
I want to
35 years in power, those exceptions.
You know, there's that saying in economics where they say other terms held constant.
Other terms held constant for 35 years.
There are things that have not changed. The mindset of Ugandans have not changed, some of them.
Whose fault is that?
It is...
Education system is too bogus. I'm too exhausted.
Okay, just say it. Our system is too bogus.
It's too bogus, too broken, to the point nti abavubuka in our generation balowooza nti government bwekolako byekoze bagezezzaako nti floods in Kampala recently, I think last month, someone sends a
but
tweet.
We should not be even talking about Kampala.
First wait.
We shouldn't talk about Kampala.
First hold on. Omuntu avayo n'agamba nti but government ne bweba nga tina birungi byekoze oba nga bingi egezezzaako. I was like, what? The government is responsible because we pay taxes.
Yes.
Eba tetuyamba wabula eba etuukiriza obligations zaayo kola ki? Kuyamba abantu to deliver services.
I agree with you. But how compliance? What is our compliance rate in tax?
Are
people paying taxes? People are evading taxes.
People are paying taxes. In fact, totally overly taxed.
Sure.
Have you ever tried to buy a car online, network border? The taxes.
How many Ugandans are buying cars? Let's talk about omuntu wa wansi. Kubanga gwoyogerera muntu wa wansi. You're talking for...
Okay. How many families can afford to buy a kilo of sugar right now? Kilo iliko 15, 15. Kilo yaliko 12.
Which year was that?
Around 98, 99, 2000.
But we were still in leadership then. What changed?
What changed?
I want to ask you, what changed?
Go abambulira. Because it's you guys abadde in power. Why is a kilo of sugar? If abantu bo baagala nnyo, you want them happy, you want them to be to have better lives. Why do you tax sugar nga sukali bamukolera wano 5,000? Why is it that we make our own electricity? Nyatenga umeme is taxed. Nga n'amazzi bagataxinga. Do you even know the owner of umeme?
It is Uganda. Okay.
Now what you mind, that's a lie. You can't defend, honestly, in no good conscience.
How can you say that? I know it's a lie.
You cannot defend the indefensible. Tosobola. You can't. Umeme.
You know, Kelvin, for me, my point, I start by asking you, why do we think that the problems of Uganda, one of the biggest is Museveni?
Overstaying
in power
has consequences.
You speak now. You're speaking for the opposition.
I'm speaking
for the ordinary,
as a person who is struggling.
You are
Nange, I'm struggling. Yes. Nange, I'm struggling.
So I want to tell you, you people in the struggle, the last 3-4 elections organized in Uganda, you've been saying, Vesija, our man. The previous one, you started saying Vesija should not come back. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you were saying, but our problem as opposition, you people were saying that your problem as opposition was Vesija. So Kebi steps aside. And he allows democratic process in the FDC to happen. Then Besigye comes out and says, remember, I never wanted to come the previous one. And I'm not coming back this, but you pushed me. You remember? He said that. Me, I'm convinced that the president of this nation, either his life is at risk or he just can't come out to tell us what is happening around him because he's the president. But the clique around, you call them nowadays the mafia. They could be holding that man hostage. Because the man
himself is a mafia.
He's not.
He's the head of the fish.
Are you sure?
He's the head of the fish.
No, you can't be saying that.
I can't speak for Besigye.
You see,
the city.
Olava muganda wange. Waka, wabeerawo abaana. Woba toliiwo, eriyo bye bakola. In your absence, eriyo bye bakola. Some of those things even taint your name. For example, no parent can send his son to go and impregnate a school-going child. Naye omwana oyo wagenda n'akola olubuto ku neighborhood bagamba nti mutabani waani w'omukungu sekyo. Batandika okwogerako biki birungi bibi. N'abatakumanyi bajja gamba nti gye wava egyo gyali emizejo. So may I believe that this whole thing has even...
There was a false comparison.
No. It is. I'm trying to bring it in context.
That was a what day false comparison.
Because the people around the president make the president bad. For example, you always see the things on Twitter and other platforms. For example, for the past days, people have been suffering. Artists have spoken, others have not spoken.
A few artists.
It was yesterday that the Interreligious Council came out to do what?
Interreligious Council.
And that is a group.
That one is also a problem for us. Our leaders in church.
Yes.
Locally, they are all frauds.
Come on.
They are all frauds.
These people lead us to
God. When people are oppressed, who is our moral conscience? Who comes out?
Of course, the religious leaders are the custodians of morality.
Back in that day,
yes.
Back in that day, churches are so strong. They stood out. These days, they are corrupted. How? Was saying,
no one corrupts you unless you want to be corrupted. They go to office, they go to the president's office. Begging.
Why?
They go begging. They are greedy.
Do you know the playbook? Umanyi playbook ya dictators. Ojimanyi.
Sijimanyi. Enlighten me on that.
Make them poor. They will come begging. Give them breadcrumbs. They will come back again begging for more.
So you mean for the past 35 years, you can't see any economic transformation in this nation?
No. Honestly, I see people posting on Twitter roads. Come on, roads.
It's a transformation.
Roads are a sign of economic transformation and growth.
Yes.
Roads. How about ensawo z'abantu?
Actually, now that you get the kunsawo z'abantu, our president is saying this coming term. By the way, we are going to win this term. You're laughing, but I want to tell you that we are winning this term. And he's saying this coming term. He gave a scenario that while growing up, he grew up and he says that those banyankolo of yours, they were his biggest problem while growing up because they worked for the stomach. But when he grew up and he learned the modern way of doing things, and he prioritized, he's saying he's going to prioritize working for two things, the pocket and the stomach.
You do realize it's a same playbook.
No.
That if he wants to to okuyamba abantu economic growth blah 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 kye kibadde kimuganye the priorities
Yes.
for 35 years. Priorities.
Of course, after 5 years, he has come up with something new.
I think what you're describing, what you're defending is indefensible. There is no way boyinza ogamba because abadde talina budde, abadde takola ki, kati kolono agenda kuyamba abantu nga giri emyaka emirala abadde tayamba abantu. That makes sense to you?
Abadde ayamba abantu. Very much. The girls are in school. They have an extra point, by the way, to join campus.
Girls are in school. That's an achievement. Girls are in school in 2020.
Women emancipation. We are talking about women emancipation because that's where we are. They were left behind. But anyway, going forward, I want you to tell me, Kelvin, if President Museveni is the problem of Uganda, where is the hope for Ugandans? Because for us, in the NRM, we are fully convinced. And like the slogan this time round is, we are securing your future.
What is the
hope for Uganda
a very bogus slogan. In fact, it's insulting. Oba omanyi okubanga omanyidde abantu obajoze no after all this time, after all these years, then ovayo gambe I'm securing your future. It's kind of insulting. Luli obadde okola ki? Insulting, I mean, securing your future.
Now we have finished. We are putting a perimeter wall on it.
Securing your future, our future nga abavubuka ate boli mukutta on the streets. That's your future.
That's the group around the president, killing the youth. I want you to remember that.
I think you're a propagandist. And I think you what I understand no gamba anti praying for their victims, blah 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 blah. But your words don't mean a thing. I think that was sarcasm.
No.
Kakati, our hope.
Yes.
Our hope. Whether it's Montu or Bobi Wine or Katumba. You do realize Katumba na ye is a state project.
Are you serious? But for you people, every person is a project.
Oh, come on. He didn't have a national ID. You see how our institutions are dead. Omuntu yesimbiyewo. I'll tell you 20 millions from nowhere yesimbiyewo. Tanafuna national ID. That makes sense.
No, actually, the youth should be happy.
The youth
if it was an old person who didn't have the national ID, and then you would have said you're working against the youth. But now the youth, we are happy. We should be happy, and that is still our work.
In a normal country, you cannot be nominated in a national ID.
So for us, we are an extraordinary nation, or abnormal nation. Of that, what are we?
Abnormal.
Okay, tell me about our hope.
Someone who has empathy, someone who is kind. Derek, omuntu nga wakes up in the morning thinking about us, thinking about abantu, people have lost jobs, ngenda kola ntyamba yambi, funding in hospitals, abakazi b'embuto to have quality health care. Abambazalira ku luguudo. Why? And then if a soldier comes and namuyamba, it's like a heroic story, but in truth, it shows that our health, sector or system is broken. Kids don't have to drown in wells in 2020, or women. 2020. Drug prices. Someone in diabetes cannot afford medicine. Why? eddagala lya bbeeyi.
But in government hospitals, eddagala lya bwereere.
Have you tried what's this hospital niliri no Kiruddu? Do you know the state of Kiruddu hospital?
That goes back to the people around the president. So the problem still...
Tugenda kutuuka to reaching impasse nga you're covering up for the president's messes and screw-ups because abantu abamuli okumpi. Kakati, people don't have to buy sugar at 15,000. Really? 15,000?
15,000 is how much in dollars?
5,000 shillings.
If we translate that in dollars, how much is that?
I don't know, mbulira simanyi.
1?
$1.5. How many can afford $1.5 a day?
According to the United Nations, the poorest country are living at $1, isn't it? So we are okay.
We are okay
if a kilo of sugar, which you're not consuming once, by the way, you're going to take it for a whole week. It's okay. It is $1.5.
It's okay for a family to not have sugar because a few can afford.
I'm just talking about, like as nations, we have standards. We have things that, because we are no longer independent on our own, we are under a certain system. So if we are saying that a kilo of sugar is just $1.something, then we are okay, because there are countries where sugar is not at 1.5.
The first problem jokoze okukyusa sente oziteeke mu dollars to make it look nti oba look easier. Look easier.
No, I'm trying to paint a picture for the people out there who will watch this, because you people, when you're talking about the government, you make it look like it is the bad. Musevenis, okay, people there know Musevenis. They don't actually why for me this time around I'm advocating for the devil. You're calling the devil. It's because
devil's advocate.
Yes. Yeah. Because the people around him, actually I read this, one of the oldest leaders of all time said, take away the wicked from the king, which I think is what the president is currently doing. Take away the wicked from the king and his throne will be established in righteousness.
That would make sense.
Let me make my point.
Go on.
So, for me, the president has been setting in place these institutions, infrastructures to eliminate the wicked. The Anti-Corruption Court, the IGG, Judith Nakalema, all those people are doing one thing. They are trying to protect the throne of the king from the wicked. But you people, instead of helping the president eliminate the wicked.
Have you met Mccullough?
No, I haven't.
He's in jail for embezzling money. Have you met some because of embezzling money?
He embezzled money.
Gavi funds.
He went in prison.
Don't feign ignorance, Munang.
He went in prison. Anyway, you're avoiding my question. I want us to go back to the question. Where is the hope for this nation?
The hope.
Yes.
Like I said, the hope is not this man. This man who fantasizes in killing his opponents, killing Ugandans, crushing us because we want him gone, because we want change. No gamba nti agenda kutu crushing. Army, because I know army.
You are the enemies of progress.
Enemies of progress, us who are struggling, who want some change, who want to live our lives better, who want quality services, who want healthcare, who want taxes to be lower, who want safe water, who want umeme bills to be lower, who want jobs, youth programs. Ziriwa.
Emioga. State House scholarships are given to youth.
Do you know people who benefit from those scholarships.
The youth.
The youth.
Regardless of where they come from, they are youth.
So you're sugarcoating tribalism because now bavuka.
So which tribe are you talking about? Because actually the president is comfortable with working with all other tribes apart from the tribe you want to mention.
No way.
Which tribe are you talking about? I could be talking about a different tribe. Which tribe are you talking about?
Sagala nikuba controversial, but you know what I mean.
No, you can't assume that.
If boteka scholarship programs,
yes.
Okay, let's say State House. Ezo ziba bantu ba once who are struggling, who have no help. Na ya abazifuna, guess who?
I can't.
You can't because you know and you're pretending.
No.
Abantu abali well off enough who can afford to pay tuition are the ones getting scholarships.
I think, Kelvin, you're forgetting that there is a government quota system which elevates the poor from the different districts wherever they come from.
Mm-hmm.
It's a program by this government that people get scholarship. Regardless of the person could have gotten 5 points and that person gets government scholarship.
Eventually bisinga one of the consequences of Musevenis overstaying power is our institutions are dead. We don't have institutions. Kati ne bogamba tulina quota system. Who oversees that? Tetulina yesterday but one riots. I'm sure walabye ekifaananyi kya traffic office holding a gun. What does that tell you? People in nga tebali mu uniform nga bakutte emundu.
It goes back
shooting.
To the thing I told you.
No. And yet
they could be holding our if they can appear in public plain clothed with guns, how much pressure is the president seeing?
And yet the president later comes out and says he's going to crush us. You understand?
No, I want to understand.
He never came out n'agamba nti abantu abatali mu uniform, were they holding guns? Did he come out? He just said, anyone who attacks my supporters, we are going to crush you, as he always says. His
enemies.
His enemies. You mean Ugandans are his enemies? That's what he means. Our only hope as Ugandans, the millions of us abali mu kubonaabona who want change. Right now, all the forces, all the winds are behind Kyagulanyi, Bobi Wine. He understands.
Really?
He understands. He understands bituyitamu. He understands how hard it is to lose a job.
He doesn't understand. He has never been employed.
If bolaba story javudde up to now where he is, it's not about him. It's about us.
Okay.
Nti when families don't have food, he understands. When abantu bafa mu ddwaliro nga teri ddagala, he understands. When police kills people, he understands. When omuntu abulwa rent, omuntu aba agobeddwa ku mulimu, omuntu aba losing a job, omuntu aba a teacher hasn't received omusaala, he understands. He has empathy. He can relate.
Wow.
He can relate.
That is where our hope should be.
Yes, and it's nga bwe nagambye, overstaying the power has consequences. It's going to take us years.
Are those
To
positive
recover.
consequences or
Negative consequences.
Come on. You mean you're going to build this nation from scratch? There's nothing good you can acknowledge about
There is
this.
something good, but the bad outweighs the good by a mile. Our institutions are dead.
Okay, now
Nekyagulanyi kijja mutwalira obudde okukola ki?
Now, you've spoken about something. You've spoken about institutions, and it brings us back to the point of where I started with, that the clique around the president. And of course, we all blame the president because he appoints, he's the appointing authority. But also, we need to come to the point where we appreciate that he's delegating authority. Okay, and he's giving people authorities and offices to run on his behalf. Sometimes things happen without him knowing. Sometimes things happen when he knows. So, if your president, your hope came into power, and you're talking about the consequences, and one of the things you're saying that the consequences is in the structures that we are having currently. Which structures have been greatly affected by our regime or by the current regime?
Structures. The police, security agencies, the damage that has been done by the security agencies, that is kigenda kutwala a long time to recover. You can't 2 days ago Kyagulanyi bamukwata. Guess who arrested him? Counter-terrorism. Not the police. Why? Is that terrorist? Onoonya n'okunoonya charges nga toziraba. So police is number one. Number one, URA. Civil aviation.
Where are the inefficiencies in those institutions?
URA?
They are collecting our money. And they are putting it to use.
If I speak, bajja kunsibandika. But the thing is, bw'ogenda mu civil aviation, 2 days ago waliwo omukyala akola mu civil aviation. Wamuwulidde? Shishi baleta posters za Museveni baziteeka mu office. N'aba order bazifulumye. Because it's an office, it's an institution, public institution. Ne bamukwata. Charged with trumped up charges.
Like which
ne bamuwa
one?
bail. Yavuddeyo mu komera. She's out now, but she lost her job.
Is it that Museveni is the one who did that?
Museveni has loyalists. And those loyalists have destroyed all the institutions.
So it is not him.
He's the head of the fish. He's the head of the fish. Ministry of Education. Kwegamba, it's gonna take us a long time to recover the damage. No, one president won't handle the damage. Ajja kujja agende omulala je until we've recovered. Naye things are bad.
Okay, things are bad.
But we are hopeful. Age is on our side. Your aging leader is ajja kufa agende. Thank
you, Mccullough. Thank you so much for coming around, and we will keep having these discussions and more. But thank you for coming, and like we said, those entries that you send to us are the ones that give us discussion, and it's where we pick what to discuss. You can always follow us on Twitter, Weird Confessions Uganda, and you can send in those entries to us. Issues biting society, issues biting you as individuals, and we are here to talk about those things. They could be weird, as we are saying. They could be normal, abnormal, like he has referred to us as a country. But all those things, we welcome them.
We are not a normal
thank you
country.
for keeping us company. Once again, it was me, DK, having Omkungu. Thank you.
All right, bye.